yesterday. Today, I'm with the lion herself, the spiritual sensei, the cheetah print warrior. Today, we have Nani Omura.
What's up, guys? My name is Nani Omura, the lion herself. And today, I have been brought on to Adonel's podcast to be talking about being misunderstood and my experiences being misunderstood and how it shaped me as a person. Now, I have always felt misunderstood in life. I have always felt like I was the odd one out. I have always felt like a black sheep. It has made me feel very devastated, and it has brought a lot of painful experiences when it came to who I am as a person. It has shaped me in some good and some bad ways, and it has genuinely just changed my life. And the bad ways that it did end up changing my life, it actually ended up benefiting me in the long run.
When was the first time you realized people didn't see you the way you see yourself?
That goes all the way back into my childhood, probably around like second grade. There would be a bunch of girls in my class that would be around each other. They would be in groups and they would be either, talking about Barbies or talking about boys. Now, me being me, I was into insects. You feel me? Like, I literally used to dig up dirt in my backyard, and I used to take bugs and put them inside of my dollhouse. And I was just in love with bugs. I was in love with doing flips. Like, I used to jump off of my porch onto a trampoline. A lot of the things that the girls in my class was interested in, I wasn't as interested in because I was different. And when I was in second grade, that's when I really got a sense of connections. And I really got a sense of what friendship was. When I got a sense of what connections and friendships were, that's when I realized that I was different from everybody else. And there were so many times that I tried to put myself in groups and they would push me away because I was so different from them. And I didn't always want to talk about boys. I didn't always want to talk about Barbies. I was interested with the world itself. Like, I was interested with the ground that I walked on, bro. I was interested with the grass, the dirt, the sky, everything around me. I was interested in, and I absorbed that. They were just into surface level things. I was a deep thinker when I was younger. I was into abstract ideas when I was younger. So that put me away from the crowd automatically. That put me away from society automatically. So I went over to the boys, and for a minute they did accept me a little bit. Until it got to a point to where they were so boyish, and I still had my girly side, and they pushed me away too. So most of the time in second grade, I was just really alone and by myself. And that was the first time I realized that people didn't see me the way that I thought they did.
So, what part of you do people misunderstand the most? And why do you think that is? Why do you think that is, Nani?
Listen, coming from the lion herself, I'm going to tell you why. I wish they could see me right now because I literally have a whole leopard jacket on. I'm really a lion, bruh.
The lion!
I'm a cat, bruh. Do they understand this?
What part of you?
Me, okay.
Do people misunderstand the most, and why do you think that is?
Okay. I'm going to start off by saying this. I have two sides of myself, right? I have a very silly side, and I play a lot. And a lot of people usually see the silly and playful side of me. A lot of people don't really see the other side of me, which is serious, very intellectual, emotionally intelligent, positive, the stuff that I show in my content. I have a lot of wisdom, and a lot of people, they don't see that side of me. I'm usually always wrapped up in the silly side or the very happy and outgoing side. I'm a very complex person. I have a lot of layers. One day I could be really serious, one day I could be really silly, and people, if they don't want to understand me, they won't.
Do you still think you're misunderstood?
Most definitely. If anything, that's one of the things that brings me the most pain in life. Being misunderstood, feeling like I don't have anybody to really try to understand me or feel the need to understand me. It hurts me a lot, especially coming from people that I'm close to.
Do you misunderstand yourself?
That's a deep question. Do I misunderstand myself? I do at times, and I'm going to tell you why. I know myself, but I second guess myself a lot. Because the way the world makes me feel like I have to question myself. People not understanding me makes me feel like I have to question my understanding of myself. You know, and sometimes I get so wrapped up in my head that I think, who am I really? Is this really me? Knowing dang well that I really know who I am at my core. It's just that I always second guess or I always overthink. The world and society has made me feel like such a black sheep to the point to where I was trying to find my white spots. I'm telling you, I was looking for my white spots. I'm sitting there looking like, you know what? Why am I not a white sheep? Why am I not like the rest? Is there something wrong with me? So yes, at times I do misunderstand myself, and I feel like a lot of people do. Everybody does at some point in their life. I would say when I was around like 13, this is when I really started embracing being different. I was looking at myself at a high point and kind of looking down at people, specifically when I was younger. But I ended up growing out of that because life humbled me in so many ways. And life showed me that just because I was different didn't mean that I was different from everybody else, because at the end of the day, we all bleed the same blood. We are all the same vessel. Even though when you look at somebody else's face, you see something that's different than yours, or you look at someone else's skin tone, you see a different skin color than yours, or a different body shape than yours. At the end of the day, we all have two eyes, we all have a nose, we all have lips.
Oh my goodness.
We're all gonna die one day. We were all born one day. We were all born one day. You feel me?
I feel you.
So it's like, bro, I had to understand that I wasn't different from anybody else, even though I was different in a societal way. Deep down, we are all the same, bro.
That was such an excellent answer, and I felt you just gave me a new perspective, you know what I mean?
How do you think I gave you a new perspective? Like, what new perspective do you think I gave you?
Because, like, everyone that says, oh, I'm bare different, bare seed fam. Like, promise you, bro. Like, yo, I'm just bare different. Like, yo, I can't lie. Like, most people take pride in that, you know what I mean?
Definitely, bro.
Everybody at some point in their life, they all want to be cool. Everybody. You want it to be cool. I want it to be cool. Everybody here wants it to be cool. You know what I mean? Being different, or like being the black sheep in like society and stuff, like it doesn't matter where it is, like the workplace, school, anywhere, right? It's looked upon as like cool. Being different is cool now, you know what I mean? That's why everyone thinks they're like superior and higher, because if people think they're cooler than others, they think they're better than them. Like, by the way you just said, oh, we all bleed the same blood, we both have two eyes, we both have skin. How does being misunderstood affect the way you express yourself or stay silent?
It makes me completely want to shut down. And it makes me want to do that because I have tried to be understood all of my life, you know? I have tried to talk to many people and get them to understand me. I have over-explained myself in so many situations just to get someone to understand me, just to get someone to want to understand me. And there were so many times that I felt shut down. So many times that people dismissed me, or they just didn't want to hear anything I said at all. That didn't make me want to express myself more. Instead, it made me quieter over the years. And it made me want to express things to myself. It made me want to look within, and it made me want to be more quiet. And what I mean by more quiet is not verbally shutting down and being quiet. But when I say being more quiet, I mean taking more time to myself. Taking time to understand that I understand myself, and that was all that mattered. I am a very expressive person. I'm a loud person when it comes to how I feel, because I feel deeply. I feel everything deeply all the time.
Nah, I can tell because you are very expressive. Do you feel misunderstood more by strangers or by people close to you, and why?
I feel more misunderstood by people close to me.
Explain.
And
sorry.
Give me a second, boy. Talk about some explain. I feel more misunderstood by people I'm close to than by strangers, because strangers, they don't really have the time in the day to misunderstand other strangers. And what I mean by that is, as people, we only really judge or we only admire people when we see them in public. And when we see these people in public, we think, I like their hair or I don't like their hair. I like what they're wearing or I don't like what they're wearing. But 9 times out of 10, we don't sit and ask ourselves, why are they having that type of hairstyle? Why do they dress that way? And honestly, we may never figure out why, because we don't know these people on a personal level. So it's hard to even misunderstand a stranger, but it's easy to judge them. Now, when it comes to misunderstanding people that you already know, that's different. Because you already know why they do the things they do. You already know why they act the way that they act. And you can try to understand it or you can try not to understand it. When it comes to you trying not to understand it or you trying to understand it, that determines how much you care about that person.
Okay.
For example, you can get past puzzles that have 1,000 pieces, right? And you have to solve it all by yourself. Now, in your mind, right or wrong, you're going to think I'm not doing this or you're going to think I am going to do this. Which one?
I'm not going to do this.
Exactly, because it's a lot of work. It's complex, right? Now, let's say somebody that you really loved and deeply cared about, they started that puzzle, but they were never able to finish it, and they always wanted to finish it. And they left you a note, and it said, I want this specific person, which was you, to finish it. Would you finish it after they passed away?
Yes.
Exactly. And the reason why is because you love and you care about that person. You're not thinking about how complex that person is. You're not thinking about how complicated it's going to be to solve this puzzle. And the reason why you're not thinking about it is because your love for them is much stronger than how complex or how hard it may be to understand them. So you do it anyway.
Okay.
Now, humans in particular, they choose to care about and they choose to try to understand things only when they want to.
Okay.
And I have always felt more misunderstood by people that I've known and people that I am close to because most of them have not tried to understand me. The reason to that is because I'm a complex person. I'm that puzzle with 1,000 pieces. I'm that puzzle that is so hard to complete. Some people start part of it. Some people finish half of it. But at the end of the day, so many people have pushed me away, have pushed that puzzle away, not knowing that at the end of that puzzle, they would see a beautiful picture. A lot of people in my life have not tried to get to that beautiful picture because they see complexity and they see something that is so hard to understand that they don't even want to take the time to understand it. And that's why I have always felt misunderstood by people that know me, because they would know why I am the way I am. They would know my favorite color, my birthday, my favorite food, me from the inside out. But they would rarely try to understand it. They would know why, but they wouldn't understand why. And that is what pushed so many people away from me in life. And it has left me to feel like how I feel today.
Okay. Yesterday, you were talking about being admired and stuff by strangers. Do you think your uniqueness, you know what I mean? Are you admired by strangers?
See, I'm not the strangers that admire me. So I can't necessarily sit here and tell you if I am or not. But from my experiences and from what other people have said to me, I feel like I am intimidate people more. And I'm saying that mainly in public, not like on my TikTok or on my social media platforms. I feel like in person and when people just see me in general, I feel like I intimidate them more than me being admirable. And I say that because I have a really strong presence and I state how I feel. And I could also see things from multiple perspectives. And I'm always going to stand on whatever perspective I feel like in the moment. Tomorrow it may be a different perspective, but today it may be a different one.
Okay.
I have a lot of layers to me, but whatever layer I'm dealing with in that moment is what I'm going to stand on regardless of how anybody feels. And that intimidates a lot of people. And not only that, but me being myself, me being who I want to be, me saying the things that I like to say, me doing the things that I like to do, that intimidates people because People are so used to the same thing. People are so used to fitting in a box of society. People are so used to following the norms. And I am not. And this goes back to say, like, how I was so different when it came to being in second grade. When I was into insects and everybody else was into whatever else they were into. That's a prime example of me not fitting in a box or me not being in the norms of society. And when people are not comfortable, when they get uncomfortable, that scares them. And it makes them intimidated, it makes them question things, and makes them wonder, why is this person like this? And I feel like that's how people look at me most of the time.
Okay. If people truly understood you, what would be the one thing you want them to know?
What would be the one thing you want them to know? I would, what?
Nah, go ahead, yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it. I'm reflecting. Dang, give me some time, boy. All right. I would want them to know that I am a very caring person. And I love deeply. I'm telling you, I love deeply. I'm angry with the fact that everybody can't love everybody. I'm angry with the fact that we kill each other and there are people in jail that did things that are just inexplainable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm angry with not being able to love while wearing my heart on my sleeve.
Okay.
Deep down inside, it only creates love. It only creates positivity. It only makes me want to be a more loving person. And all of my anger and all of my rage comes from love. It comes from a place of wanting to see the world at a better position. So if I wanted somebody to really understand me, I would want them to know that I am love. All right, this is the end of this podcast. Thank you so much.
This is the end of the podcast.
Yes. The Lion herself and Adonel are out.
We're out.
Thank you guys for listening.